This is James, aka Nuada Prime, and I'm going to be working on some chainmail miniatures here, and figured we could chat. I actually filmed a unboxing video a little bit ago as I opened up this box, and then I accidentally deleted the video. Did not claim to be some sort of master YouTube video maker. That'll become pretty clear as I record videos. But I wanted to make some video content for Chainmail Miniatures game because this is one of my all-time favorite miniature games, and there's not a lot or any content I could find on YouTube for it. This Chainmail Miniatures game was released by Wizards of the Coast in 2001 and met with a lot of positive reviews. People really enjoyed it. There's some really interesting articles out there about why it failed, because it only stuck around for 1 year. Then it was canceled as Wizards of the Coast decided to go with a pre-painted collectible miniature route, which they have done ever since. So this was one of the last things released for the Chainmail miniature games, the Attack of the Drow. So being one of the things that came at the end of the game and really never was officially released. They were given out at conventions that year. Being that it's a little bit of a harder item to find, pops up on eBay from time to time. So one thing a little disappointing with this box, I opened it up to find I only had one of the Kuo-toa. This was the figure I was most excited about in the box. I wanted to get a couple of these. I always thought Kuo-toa were kind of cool looking figures. And it's a pretty decent sculpt of one. Let's see if I can get it in focus. So, but the only one came in the box, and even though it was supposed to have two. It comes with several figures that were released in other sets. The Drow Ranger, the Drow Soldier, and the Drow Wizard. So, the figures that came in the set that were not released in other sets were the Kuo-toas. There were supposed to be two. Troglodyte Warrior, which you can see here, and the Displacer Beast. So these are some of the few figures I was missing from the game, so I was pretty excited to add this to my chainmail collection. So I want to go ahead and just start putting this figure together and talk a little bit about chainmail miniatures and the game in general, the figures. One of the things a lot of people, critics, have pointed out that chainmail miniatures do tend to be a little bit flat. And if you see here, the sculpt is a perfect example. It's a flat piece with some other pieces to glue on to give it a little more of a 3D aspect. But I don't know if that was something about the way that they were handling their molding process. I don't know why it is, but it is something you see in a lot of the chainmail miniatures. Nice sculpts, but a little on the flat side. So, never been a fan of, on their 40mm figures, they would put in little tabs, and expect that you would cut out a little place for the tab to go through. It never quite fit right. These things never cut right. So first thing I'm going to do is just cut that tab off so I can glue it directly to a base. I've had these clippers for years. They have clipped a lot of miniatures over the years. So Always got to be careful when you're clipping, especially on the metal figs. It's so easy to mess up. There we go. So, I'm going to clean the foot up with a hobby knife. Kind of give it a little flatter surface. Yeah, one of the things I really liked about the Chainmail miniature game was the fact that it used a lot of classic D&D monsters. In the first set, the first release, they included an owlbear for the orc faction, Dresden's Horde, and that owlbear is the nicest owlbear figure I've ever seen released. It's a very beautiful sculpt. So, I don't know, I've always been a fan of the classic D&D monsters, those monsters that exist in D&D and nowhere else. And the Displacer Beast is one of those. I've heard it joked before that that Gary Gygax must have really hated his players because he came up with a lot of vicious monsters. So the Displacer Beast is a six-legged cat, kind of bluish colored, and it displaces itself visually, so it's kind of a blur. So they're harder to hit. In the Chainmail game, they have a displacement ability to make them harder to hit. And I'm not sure exactly what the displacement, how it works in the game off the top of my head, but the set 4 guidebook has the rules for it. Which that is one of the things I thought the way that they did the game was an unfortunate thing. They released a lot of rules with each release set, and you would need to buy the guidebook for the new set that would have all the new ability rules. But considering the figures came with cards with stats on them, you didn't have to buy a whole lot. There wasn't a big rule book. It was a very small, fairly inexpensive book, and it came with scenarios and things as well. So. Alright, let's go ahead and glue these legs on. One of the other reasons I'm making a video like this, I did want to kind of test out my tripod. I picked this up a little while back for my phone to be able to take videos like this. And hadn't really tried it out yet. Don't plan to be a huge video YouTube maker, creator, but every once in a while I get the urge to make a video to share with folks online about something I really like. If you look at other videos on my channel, a lot of comic book videos. I'm a huge comic book fan, but got some videos on Hero Clicks. Got a video on my Hero Quest miniatures. Another game I'm a big fan of, the Hero Quest board game, which was released in the 90s. And if you haven't seen the Bardic Broadcasts video on why Hero Quest is great, go look that up. It's far more entertaining than any video I will ever make. But, and Bruce has decided to make a cameo in this video. Hi, Bruce. This is our cat, Bruce. You can also find videos of him on YouTube. So, alright. As you could tell from the shot of Bruce, I'm just sitting on the floor, I'll probably set myself up on a table the next time I decide to make a video, but this was a good spot. Quiet area of the house. And decided to do that. So yeah, even though these are fairly flat models, this figure, the way they designed it, it has a really neat aspect to it once it's assembled. That lean kind of gives it the illusion of being less flat than it is. Alright, lots of glue on the toes. There's the tripod, almost fell. I actually like you might put some glue on here. I really don't generally like to mess with it after I'm realizing I have way too much metal on that foot. I'm sure some of you are watching going, is he really going to glue it like that? Alright, I'm going to go get a file. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and let's go ahead and file that down. This looks a little better. Take a little of that excess. There we go. All in all, it's not a bad figure. Not crazy about the 40mm base it came with, but the chainmail miniatures came on these fairly thin bases. Leave a lot of room if you wanted to magnetize. You got to get some very thin, thin rare earth magnets if you want to magnetize your bases with these. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that figure. Well, that's it for now. Just wanted to get something chainmail on YouTube. I do plan to at some